Hey y'all, this is Ryan Jackson from Ryan Jackson LLC. I just wanted to speak to y'all for a couple of minutes about this whole Juwan Howard incident up in Madison, Wisconsin, after the Michigan-Wisconsin game earlier this afternoon. Michigan lost 77 to 63, bringing them to 14-11, and that was bad that they lost the game. But the second half they couldn't. They had a 5 point lead and they just couldn't. They couldn't buy a basket. They couldn't. They bricked so many 3 pointers and and just turnovers, and they weren't hustling. They were getting out rebounded, so that was bad. But what made it even worse after a bad game was after the game. You know, they have the handshake line, and Jawan Howard was going to shake hands, and next thing I know, a skirmish breaks out. So I'm learning to reserve judgment until I get all the facts, and all the facts are still not haven't come in. They're still coming in, but it's bad that Juwan Howard hit the assistant coach in Wisconsin. That's bad. Yes. So we're gonna address the elephant in the room. That is bad. He's gonna be suspended some games, and fined, and rightfully so, because you can't hit anyone, you can't strike anybody. You being a head coach, you set the example for your young man, and it's just a bad look for the team and for the university and for Michigan basketball. So yes, yes, not excusing what Jawan did. It's a bad look. Yes, we get that. However, comma, there's always more to the story than what's being told. And so, from what I saw, and this is from a friend of mine on a thread that I'm on, Michigan football fans, and he said the same thing from what I saw too. That was the assistant coach in Wisconsin grabbed Jawan Howard and got in his face. Howard clearly didn't want any part of it and tries to keep it moving. Wisconsin coach then steps in front of Howard and grabs him more. Howard was already upset, was pissed off. Then he got heated. Um, they got broken up. Second Wisconsin coach probably said something. Who knows? I don't know what was said, but he probably said something colorful to to a Michigan player. And then Howard, that's when he lashed out and slapped the guy, or whatever, struck out and hit him. And then the melee ensued. It was pushing between Michigan players and Wisconsin players. I think Musan Diabate, he threw a punch and another Michigan player and a Wisconsin player, so they're going to be suspended. And like I said, I'm not going to pass judgment. What Jawan Howard did was wrong, and he needs to be punished. However, Wisconsin players and coaches need to be punished as well, because from what I've known about Jawan Howard, he's not one to lash out and hit somebody. Yes, he gets feisty and boisterous during the game, but all coaches do that. All coaches do that. But something had to be said to set him off. Not excusing what he did, not excusing what he did, but something must have been said to set that man off, to make him go off like that. And if he was grabbed, then yeah. And something was said to his player, then yeah. I can understand why he did what he did. I can understand why. Because we live in a country where, you know, where a black man does something first. Oh, well, he's wrong for doing it. Yeah, he has a bad attitude. He should have known better than that. Yeah, yeah, shame on him. But what caused him to do X, Y, and Z? What was the determining factors? Tell the whole story. Don't tell a third of the story or half of the story. Tell the whole damn story. Something set him off. He was grabbed. He did what he did. something was said to his player, he did what he did. I'm not excusing it. I'm not saying he shouldn't be punished, but I could understand. And I stand with Juwan Howard. He's a stand-up dude from what I know about him, going back to his days with the Fab Five. He always was mature and he always seemed like a leader. That, he was just his maturity level was high for an 18-year-old, 19-year-old young man. And he played for Pat Riley and coached under him. So Pat Riley was his mentor, Eric Spoelstra, from the Pat Riley tree. And if y'all know anything about basketball and Pat Riley ain't no punk. He ain't no punk. So he comes from that Pat Riley coaching tree. So with that being said, and he's from the South Side of Chicago. So with that being said, not excusing what Juwan did, but I could see, I could understand him protecting himself and protecting his player. But of course, the thing is going to be what Juwan, did what he did, and not what the Wisconsin people, how they instigated the incident. That ain't going, they're going to brush past that. They're going to brush past that because that's what they do in America. And let me remind y'all, Bobby Knight, do y'all remember him? Some of y'all may not be old enough to remember him, but you remember the great Bobby Knight, coach at Indiana? He threw a damn chair on the court after getting into it with a ref. He took a chair and tossed it. He headbutted a player, one of his own players, on the bench. There's a player now that went through depression. This poor man went through depression, and I don't know if he killed himself or not, if he committed suicide. But Bobby Knight drove this man to depression, to the point of depression. Anybody say anything about Bobby Knight? He's celebrated as an excellent basketball coach, as a legend, one of the legends of college basketball. And rightfully so, because his one-loss record, he won 3 championships. But he was a terrible person, the way he treated people. The great John Chaney, I love John Chaney. The late, great John Chaney was coach at Temple for, I forgot how many years, 20-some years, 27 years maybe. The great John Chaney. He threatened to kick John Calipari's ass in a press conference. UMass and Temple, they got into it after the game, and during the press conference, he interrupted John Calipari's press conference and said, "I will kick your ass." He went North Philly on homeboy, North Philly on him. He said, "I ain't playing it." Oh man, John Chaney was in his 60s. He threatened to beat this man up. He went North Philly on him. John Thompson, I remember him getting into it with Raleigh Massimino and Jim Boeheim and rival coaches in the Big East. I mean, where he had to be held back. The late, great John Thompson. So, granted, what Juwan did was wrong. He needs to be punished, and he will. But people talking about him getting fired, man, hush that noise. I ain't trying to hear that. Kill that noise. Because it's coaches that have done far worse. Far worse. And the other people, to even, their own members of their team. I just mentioned Bobby Knight. Coaches that have done far worse. Juwan shouldn't have struck a coach. No, he shouldn't. It was wrong, and he should be punished. However, if he was touched inappropriately, and he was protecting his player from someone saying something to his player, then I understand why he did it. I understand why he did it. I stand with Juwan Howard. He's a stand-up guy. And it's a bad look for Michigan basketball, unfortunately, but it should be a bad look for the Big Ten. Not just Michigan, but for Wisconsin too, and for Big Ten and for college basketball. Because we cannot tolerate this. You cannot instigate things into and turn them into a big incidents like what happened today. That was just bad. It was. But we got to look at the bigger picture. It's bigger than Juwan Howard. We got to look at the bigger picture. So please, let's withhold judgment until we get all the facts. But this, I'm just saying this about from what I've learned so far. And if more comes out, then I will do another video about it, of course. But like this video, smash that like button, drop your comments below. We don't have to agree, but let's disagree without being disagreeable, and subscribe to the channel. All right, y'all, I'm going to enjoy some good birthday food. Today my birthday, and watch this All-Star game. Hopefully it won't disappoint me. So like the dunk contest. But I hope it's a good All-Star game, and y'all have a good rest of your day and a good weekend. All right, y'all. Till next time. God bless. Love y'all much. I'm out. Peace.